Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having a great start to your day. Today, the topic we are going to be discussing for our intention is mindfulness. So mindfulness is such an important part of our overall wellness. It's something that's so easy for us as a society to discount because our lives are so go, go, go. We're always on the move. We always have something on our to-do list. And it's so important for us to remember that the best moments happen and the most emotion-filled moments in our lives happen at the times when we are being mindful and we are allowing our mind to be clear so that we can receive all of the full measure of feelings that we are meant to feel, that we have the capacity to feel, but that involves practicing mindfulness and being mindful. So I just wanted to start off today by just tapping into that energy of mindfulness. And what I would like us to do is just take a few deep breaths together, just to really ground ourselves into this space, into this moment. So I invite you to close your eyes. And we're just going to take 3 deep breaths through our nose. And you can either decide to let that breath out through your mouth or through your nose, whatever feels good to you to feel like you can center yourself. So let's start with our first one. So deep breath. And out. Another one. One more. That feels so good. I could just do deep breaths all day. That feels so good. I hope you feel a little more centered, a little more grounded. So like I said, we're going to just talk a little bit about mindfulness today and center our intention around mindfulness. And one way I wanted to do that, one way I really love to do that is by using cards. Sometimes cards can be really helpful for coming up with an intention for the day and making sure that we can set an intention and keep it. And I actually have this card deck called Mindful Days. Mindfulness cards to start the day with peace and calm. So sometimes I just feel inspired to use this deck just to get some new, fresh ideas on different ways in which I could practice mindfulness, because mindfulness is something I practice every day, and it usually involves being out in nature and just, doing the deep breaths like we just did and being present in the moment. But sometimes it's fun to add an element like cards into your mindfulness practice, just so the thing that you're doing that day to practice mindfulness is something new and fresh and unexpected. It just makes you really think about your mindfulness even more when you're given a task by something like a card. So let's do that. Let's pull one together and let's just see what the universe wants us to focus on today. I think that could be really fun. Okay. Just gonna shuffle these up a little bit so they're in a random order. And I'm just gonna pick one for us. So let's see what we get. Okay. So today's mindfulness card is make a list of 3 things that worry you, but you realize you cannot control. Interesting. So usually when I pull one of these cards, I don't always get answers to the question right away. What I usually recommend is getting out a journal and just taking 5 or so minutes to journal on the topic that comes up for the mindfulness card. Um, Make a list of 3 things that worry you, but you realize you cannot control. I think one that has been coming up for me lately that probably a lot of people can relate to is sometimes we future think and we try to predict the outcome of an event, knowing that it's not something that's in our control to be able to predict. So, whether you're trying to predict how a certain person is going to make a decision on something that you're waiting to hear back from, maybe that involves maybe it's someone you know personally, or maybe it's like an entity, like maybe you're waiting to hear back from the government on something or from your job on something. And those are situations of things where we can really start to future think and we can try to think, okay, well, what if it happens like this? Or what if it happens like this? Or what am I going to do if they say this? And that's a perfect example of when you can catch yourself in a place of not being mindful because you're trying to predict the future when you don't know what it's going to be and you don't know what the situation is going to be like because it's not in your hands. It's in the hands of another person's mind or in the government's mind or whatever, whatever thing you're waiting on to hear back from. So that's just one example that comes to mind for me. But what I encourage you to do today to tap into this mindfulness energy is to make your list of 3 things. So just so we recap again. So make a list of 3 things that worry you, but you realize you cannot control. So I invite you to make your list today. Tap into that energy of mindfulness. And just know that when we can focus more of our attention and energy on being mindful, that we put ourselves into a better headspace to be able to fully experience life more. And with that, we usually get more intuitive downloads and more guidance from our own soul, from our own mind about next steps in life, because the mind needs to have a place of quietness and peace in order to fully be able to function in the most proper way. We can't have an overwhelmed, busy mind all the time and expect good things to come to us. We have to make room to receive those good positive thoughts, those good messages, that good news, those good feelings. Mindfulness is so important. So that's all for today, for today's morning intention. Let's focus on mindfulness and let's make it an amazing day. I'm sending you so much love and light and positive energy, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.